Mr. Chi, the founder and the CEO of XREAL. Welcome. All right, Chi, please introduce yourself to our audience firstly.
Okay, hey guys, this is Chi Zhu. I'm the founder and CEO of XREAL. So XREAL is a consumer AR glasses company. So we're building right now the best-selling AR glasses for the world. And a little bit about myself. So I graduated from Zhejiang University from my college, and then I moved to the US. So I got my PhD in University of Minnesota in computer architecture. And after that, I moved to Silicon Valley. So I got a chance to work with at NVIDIA, beginning with a computer architecture, a kind of a computer architect. And then I started to join a very interesting company called Magic Leap. It is, pretty much, the first very famous AR startup company. So it is when I kind of established a vision about how the spatial computing going to impact your life. And, a year later, I move out. I want to start my own company, and this is how XREAL got started. So I fly back to China. It took me about 6 months to get to know the market, talk with different investors, and then start to recruiting my team. And I think early 2017 is the time when we started this company, XREAL, and then the journey begins.
Trishi, in this afternoon, I have interviewed 4 guests before you.
Okay.
And some of them are, actually, they are all leading entrepreneurs and the unicorn the founders.
Yep.
But, some of them were investors. Some of them were filmmakers. Some of them were managers, and then they transformed into starting their own business. But you are different. You are an expert. You're an expert in augmented reality technology.
Yep.
Do you think it's the advantage for you to start up a new company or new business as an expert in this specific field?
That's a very good question. I don't know what is a better fit for this industry, but to me it feels like we're in a brand new industry, and we need some other company. If you really want to stand out, you need to be disruptive. That means all the technology wasn't there yet, so that's why having somebody who really know the boundaries of different technology, because this is a combination of like optics, software, algorithm, and AI, and hardware all in general. So that's why if you look at any AR company, you probably won't see a CTO, because you don't have like one technology officer that can know all the different kind of boundaries there. So being an expert in pretty much a majority of those areas is definitely a plus, because building hardware is really challenging, especially know the boundary, and even sometimes you need to push the boundary a little bit. So this is the part I think, if you're an expert, you really have a huge plus. Because looking back at my previous company, Magic Leap, I think the biggest downside for our founder and CEO back then is he's not an expert in technology. So he's a great visionary. He think about, okay, how the spatial computing going to change people's life, and he's probably the first one talking about spatial computing and metaverse like 10 years ago ahead of Apple today. But the key thing is you need to deliver. You need to know the boundary of different elements of different components, right? So this is a part, if you're an expert, you can know better, and you know them, and you can keep pushing that boundary to the right direction. Because we face a lot of challenges, like my software engineer or hardware engineers coming to me saying, hey, this is impossible. And I know the boundaries there, so that would say, hey, it is definitely possible. And 80% of the time, I'm right. So that means 80% of the time, we end up pushing the boundaries and reach a level that nobody else ever done before.
Yes, that's awesome. Let's talk about AI. That's an exciting topic, right?
Absolutely.
So as AI technology is speeding up, NVIDIA is getting super hot nowadays, and you work for NVIDIA, right?
Yep.
So Did you foresee that, the trend?
Okay, so I joined NVIDIA at I think it was 2014. I'll give
Okay.
you a short answer, no. And nobody, pretty much, nobody at NVIDIA back then foresee that. I still can tell you when I left the company, the stock price is about $16. 1.6. Yeah.
All right. So even you cannot foresee the trend of the AI speeding up. Wow, that's can we say that the whole thing about AI is just by chance?
Well, I think that's the beauty of technology. Right?
Okay.
Sometimes you see a huge trend, it can completely change your understanding of the whole industry. And that is very important because I think early on, when we think about NVIDIA, they think that is semiconductor company. And if you're selling semiconductor, your upside is very limited. And especially if you're thinking back then, NVIDIA is a GPU company and they face really huge challenge coming from Intel building in GPU cards, right? And the entire GPU market is actually slowly going down. And then you have AI, you have blockchain, you have so many other use cases gonna use tremendous amount of GPUs. And somehow their competition didn't keep up with NVIDIA. So they give them the best profit and the best revenue to this company. And they just make a lot of right strategy and making sure they can kind of contain that kind of advantage over all the competitions there. It has been phenomenal.
How did you benefit from working for NVIDIA, especially when the concerns with what you have been doing for now?
Okay, I think the biggest role model I had at NVIDIA is my manager's manager. So he's right now, I think he's the VP of the entire GPU, Michael Lystone. He's a very successful manager, and being NVIDIA is like my first professional job, I think I learned a lot from him. I remember so many days, even he have like long day meetings, he always, before he left, he always tried to summarize the entire day, try to build a memo. He actually used Microsoft Notes. So basically, he want to summarize all the meetings for that day and put them into actions and put them into memos and making sure, this is a great memorized and send out the actions to the related people there. I think that's a really good habit of being a great manager. And so everything is so organized and everybody inside his team know exactly what to do next. I think this is, blow my mind because being a PhD student, you most of the time you work yourself. It's like individual effort. And it is at NVIDIA, you first establish like a teamwork spirit. And you know how to do a job with your team members and how to be a good manager.
Yeah, next let's talk about the metaverse.
Okay.
Well, we have augmented reality,
Yep.
virtual reality,
Yep.
mixed reality, and extended reality, right?
Yep.
We have all kind of realities. And which one do you think is the future of metaverse? Which one do you think we need for the metaverse?
Okay, so first of all, different people, it's like, for example, Apple, they never say metaverse because they think metaverse is like a meta thing. So for different company, they have different egos there. So they tend to use different terms to represent a similar kind of a future vision, right? So to me, it feels like there's not so much difference for all of those. But there is one difference, in my opinion, is do we want to use a virtual world to replace your reality, or we want to enhance your reality with virtual content and virtual information?
And the answer is?
Definitely, this is different people have different answers. But for me, I think, we like the reality.
Okay.
This is how we grow up, right? We want to make our reality better by adding more information there. But that's just my thing. So that's why we want to build an AR company over a virtual reality, a VR company. We don't want to have that kind of matrix kind of thing. We don't like that. We want to make this reality better by adding more stuff into it.
Well, your answer is based on your favorite, right?
Yep.
You just because you love reality, so you just want augmented reality. But if we are trying to be more objective,
Okay. Yep.
or can you judging from the technology development, the future? So which one would probably be the future?
That's a good question. I still think reality is, because I don't think we can escape the reality all the time. Maybe from time to time we want to get out of this one and jump into a gaming scene because it sounds wonderful, but we need to have the sense of coming back. Because this is, your family and all those kind of stuff, you need to have some sort of real into it. So that's why we also have our company name with real, right? Because I think reality is so important. You can escape from time to time to make you love reality better, to appreciate your reality better, not the other way around.
Okay, let's talk about your products. Your products, the AR glasses, right?
Yes.
So have achieved the highest ship volume globally in 2023.
Yep.
So how did you do that?
Hasn't been easy. Okay, so building AR is so hard. We saw so many other companies fail at that. So we even joke about that. Do you know why AR is so hard? Because even hard have AR in it. So it sounds like VR doesn't be that hard. Okay, so AR is definitely hard, especially you want to build a lightweight AR glasses that people can use on a daily basis. Okay, so you need to have, that's what I'm saying, we need to be disruptive. Because you don't have example to follow. No other company has ever done this far to deliver easy to use AR glasses. So that's why then we realize, okay, different people have different understanding of AR glasses. Because we have Google Glass like 10 years ago and people think,
But
hey,
failed, right?
it is a failure, right? But it's, in my opinion, it's a really good failure to educate the whole market.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that is the definition of AR glasses. We want to have something can help you to understand the reality, but that's actually a really high bar to reach. Even as of today, we don't see a lot of, AI couldn't even do that. So that's why we have to come from another kind of a understanding of what AR is. So when we're testing with different customers, and a good thing is, you have to listen to the customers. You don't listen to them directly, but you give them some product and you make an observation of their behavior, and then you try to get what is actually useful to them. So when we launch the first generation, we start work with different carriers. Because the telco company, they want to find another use cases that can leverage 5G data. So when we start testing this and really launching our product to the real customer, we realize they don't really care about the fancy AR stuff. What they want and what they use for most of the time is they enjoy a big, high quality, high definition virtual display. Because we are living in the world, we have screens everywhere, but we always want to have bigger one and high resolution screens there. And the downside for the cell phone is it is very convenient, very portable, but it is not big enough. So that's why then we realized when the first kind of success for our glasses commercially, we call it XREAL Air. We strip off a lot of other features and components because it consumes power, it is more expensive. So we end up putting a perfect combination of different stuff and making that as a portable display early on. And people just love it. You can easily plug this into your laptop, your cell phone, even your gaming consoles. And once people start to realize, okay, this actually brings a new level to their current experience, they'll buy it. And we see actually the selling point for this is, we're replacing your physical display to the digital ones. And I think that kind of migration is inevitable and it's never going back.
The investors love AI, not only the private ones,
That's right.
but also the government, both in China and the USA, the state-owned investors.
Yes.
They all put money into this industry. I'm sure you benefit from that, right? Does it make it easier for you to raise money for your business?
I think metaverse, when they are popular, it definitely helps. But AI, yes, it definitely helps in some way. I think, ultimately, AR is the best platform for AI because you can have all the personalized data. Yeah, but I want to say AI, it takes a long way. We get this kind of excitement for some demos early on. For ChatGPT, it definitely get people excited. But if you really want to have the powerful impact to our lives, it still takes some time. And I want the investor have like a peaceful kind of mentality for that as well.
Countries are racing in this track.
Yes.
Even competitions.
Yeah.
So how do you foresee that in the future? The result of the competition.
That's a hard question to answer because,
Yes. Will that separate our world into parts, or will that unify the whole world more closely?
Okay, yes. So if the history ever told us anything, the entire mankind is more powerful if we're united, right? So every time we try to separate this world, it didn't end up really well. So I think, if we learn from the history, if we think as, technology doesn't have a nationality, right? So if we think that direction, at some point, we need to be united together to get there. And if you remember, like a lot of technology breakthrough, it is achieved by people united together. And also for AI, I truly believe that. I think we're at a very early stage of AI. And, there's a lot of boundaries we need to set. We couldn't imagine we can ever achieve that by just people working divided.
Yeah, I know it's a tough question, and you gave a very appropriate answer. Okay, finally, the last question. Would you please give some advice to the young entrepreneurs?
Okay, so I never thought I could be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I think, entrepreneur is not trained, it's not born. If you choose something, even for me, for myself, my personal experience is, I don't want to be the CEO from day one because I don't think, I'd never be entrepreneur before. So it would be nice for me maybe to learn close by, but not leading the thing, right? But entrepreneur is always very lonely. Even sometimes your co-founders, you still feel lonely because you can't tell them everything. And you don't expect that they can share the same kind of workload and barrier like you. So you have to be vision driven, you have to be very dedicated, you have to be very aggressive, and you have to have a very big heart. So all of that, I don't think you can be ever trained for that. So you have to grow with it, and you have to grow along with this kind of journey to start this company. And sometimes you realize, okay, this is such a wonderful journey because your life is so short. You want to have some challenge to make you grow better, and probably starting a company is the ultimate kind of challenge in my mind. Maybe when I'm older, I can find some other ultimate challenge, but this one is so exciting. I think I learned so much, not by training, by growing with this kind of whole experience. So if somebody thinks their life is so boring and they want to try something different, try something really hard, definitely start a company and try to set the bar really high, because there's a lot of easy success. But if you really want to change the world, if you really want to have some disruptive innovations there, it's definitely going to be very lonely, very hard, very challenging, but the reward is also very immense.
All right. Thank you very much, Chishi. Very much for your participation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's take a photo.